Hi, I'm Jim Jubak, and welcome to my quick pick stock pick for November 5th. I'm in Venice. You can see Venice out the window behind me, and I'm also wearing my Venice Seagull t-shirt. It's a takeoff on the birds. You see Tippi Hedren here. Tippi Hedren, and she's got a slice of pizza in her hand and is being attacked by seagulls, which happens in Venice frequently. The real joke here is actually my first day back in Venice after a summer in Sicily. I saw a seagull take a slice of pizza out of a tourist's hand walking near San Marco. The joke, of course, is that the t-shirt, on all the garbage cans in Venice, they have warnings, beware the gabbiano, which is Italian for seagull. In Venice, in Venetian dialect, however, seagull is not gabbiano, although they will understand you in Venice, is cow cow, which is sort of the sound that the Venetians think seagulls make. Anyway, all that aside, happy to be back in Venice, happy to be back with you. Today's stock pick is Fortinet, a cybersecurity company. Ticker is FTNT. Now, what's interesting to me is that they have products all across the spectrum, but their real concentration, what I'm interested in, is their role in firewalls. And they've got about 15% of the firewall market, which is much more than they've got of the general cybersecurity market. So it's real concentration there. Firewalls is a really interesting piece of software, hardware. Margins are pretty good. And there's a real upgrade cycle. Companies tend to replace their firewalls when the technology gets far enough ahead so that it makes sense for them to do that. It's like a 4 or 5 year cycle. Morgan Stanley recently came out with a report saying, hey, the firewall cycle is about to begin, firewall replacement cycle. And they're calling it for 2025. And expect to see it in the second half of 2025. So you're getting a stock now with the prospect of that kind of big increase in revenue. Let's see. So what Morgan Stanley said was, hey, we're seeing that there's about a 20% discount between Fortinet and the leading stock in the sector, which is Palo Alto Networks, as well as we're seeing. Morgan Stanley said we see that there's a 20 to 30% likelihood of an upgrade to Wall Street forecasts of free cash flow because of this cycle. So those are the two reasons to buy it right now. Morningstar points out that the company is profitable, which is really unusual in the cybersecurity space. It's actually GAAP accounting standards profitable as well as non-GAAP. Non-GAAP accounting tends in the technology sector tends to be really wild because you got all this non-cash compensation that doesn't get figured into this. But anyway, if you look at non-GAAP GAAP earnings, which is the standard that most of Wall Street uses, they have a profitability of about 35% in the second quarter of 2024. That compares to 29% for Palo Alto. Nobody else has much in the way of profits to begin with. So this is big profitability in the sector for these two companies. Palo Alto moving to try to make itself more and more profitable as opposed to just growing revenue, which is what a lot of other companies are doing. The other thing that Morningstar points out is that they see margins here. This is operating margins growing from the current 35% to maybe 38% by the end of 2028, and then maybe 40%. So you're also getting, so these are all these things going together to make this stock something that you want to buy now. It's not cheap. They've had a couple of bad quarters, so the stock held up in price fairly well, but they were seeing some order dips. So you're looking at a PE of about 41 on trailing 12-month earnings, but we're looking at this as a story for 2025, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. So anyway, I'm going to add this to my Jubak Picks portfolio on my Jubak Picks site. If you want to see that portfolio and two others for dividends as well as long-term stocks, you can go to that site. It's jubakpicks.com. You find a link to that down below. It's free. Just sign up you need to sign up and become a member, which also gets you free alerts. All free. All you're doing is giving me your email so we can send you those alerts. Second thing is that if you want to subscribe to my subscription site, which is Jubak AM, you get those 3 portfolios plus 2 more, and you can find links to those down below as well. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you get notification when we do our next one. And we hope that it's going to start being regular again. Hey! And find a link to that down below. So thanks very much for watching. Today's quick pick was Fortinet FTNT. Thanks very much.